Hey, welcome to the ceiling of my apartment, I guess, and a little bit of the mess on top of my closet. It is 4-ish a.m., 5, I don't know how late it is. It's late, it's early, depending on how you want to look at it. It's a time. It is a time of day or night, morning, and you're looking at the ceiling because I'm lying in my bed, pointing the camera up at the ceiling so that you don't see what a mess my apartment is. It's messy. Um, and I had a mental whiplash today, which it's a thing that happens every once in a while, and it has to do with numbers on YouTube channels. So it's one of those things of like content creator blabbers about analytics, statistics, and shit. But I was looking at what's the deal with Rel, and it's just like the analytics on it, and I was looking at the video page itself, and I looked at the video, and then underneath it, the view counter said 20,000 something, 20,000 something. And for whatever reason, it's not like I don't look at those damn numbers all the time. I have to; it's part of the job. But for whatever reason, today, looking at that number just kind of punched me in the brain, and something just kind of went click inside my head. And there's this weird mental lag that I have, that I think a lot of creators have, but certainly I have it, where in my head, I'm always like a year behind my YouTube channel, in a sense, in the sense that, like, it's when I look at the analytics on YouTube, it has all these like comparisons and graphs of how well you're doing and blah blah blah, and it has this average that it works out about like how many views does a video of yours get on average in this time frame, and inside the scope of 3 days, apparently 20,000 views is like that's within the average. And the average is pretty wide. Like I think the average for my videos is like somewhere between 8 and 32,000, which is a very wide gamut because I make videos that like some videos that do really well, like the Seraphine video, like went pretty quickly, and then I do a bunch of videos that don't do a lot of numbers very quickly at all. So that's a very wide gamut, but it was still 20,000 views is within the average for my channel in 3 days. And the reason that hit me is because it used to be, like a couple of years ago, I had this success metric in my head, which is like if the video does like 1,000 views in like a week, cool, that's good. Like that, then I'm satisfied. Not that that means it's a huge success or anything, but like it was this metric I had in my head where if the video does 1,000 views in a week, then good. Like then I'm happy with it. Then I'm not gonna care about the numbers anymore beyond that, because that means 1,000 people clicked on it and gave it a shot, and that's good enough for me. 1,000 people in a week, right? And now 20,000 is within the average for 3 days, and it just kind of slapped me out of nowhere. That's somewhere in my head. Some part of me was still it was still kind of holding on to that rule, like to that, like, oh, if it does 1,000 views in a week, that's good enough. And in my head, that's still where my channel was. Like that's still where, like, that's what my expectations should be of this thing. That like maybe 1,000 people will click on this thing in a week, and then cool, good for you. You have done a video that was worth doing. Hey, shadow puppets, wee. Um, and that just kind of, I guess it just kind of popped up against the reality of what my channel actually does nowadays, I guess. Because like it was a little bit It was a little bit like, like the first time someone tries to explain to you how big the Earth is, um, and like then how big the sun is compared to the Earth. That like the Earth is this tiny little pinprick needle next to the sheer overwhelming cosmic enormity that is the sun. Like when you get that weird sense of scale that doesn't make sense, it's a little bit like that. It's a little bit like, because all of a sudden my brain went, hang on, that means like 20,000 times someone clicked on this video, and like most people don't watch it all the way through. There's other, like, again, statistics and numbers and shit that tell me that it's like most people will click away from a video within like 10 minutes, either because they put it in the watch later list, or because they realize they're not interested, or because they're like, oh, this guy's stupid, I'm gonna leave it. Just like most people that YouTube suggests the video to will like them. Some of them will take a look, and most of those people will go, not for me, which is fine. Like, that's normal. But it still happened 20,000. Like, in order for 20,000 views to show up on my video, people have to click on it 20,000 times, and they have to like watch. I think YouTube has like a threshold of like, it's like 30 seconds before it counts as a view or whatever. Like, it's some number where it's like before it counts as a view, it has to hit that. And that happened 20,000 times. It's like it's like a football stadium full of people who decided to like to at least give it a shot, like to click on it, at least to see, just to check, like, oh, is this the thing I want to. 20,000. That's, I don't like, for some, I can't get my brain to. It seems like too many people, doesn't it? Like, that's like, we're used to talking about YouTube. We used to say, oh, this video got 10 million views, or like whatever. Like we're used to talking in YouTube numbers about like 20, like a million views is impressive. Like a few million views is impressive. Like that. Those are the real interesting numbers that are worth caring about. But 20,000. There are cities, like there's towns full of people that are smaller than 20,000. That's the half the population of my hometown. Like the entire county, not just the city, but the entire county. Like the moment I tried to relate that like my brain tried to relate that number to something real, and it just kind of broke. I don't understand it. Like logically I do, but emotionally it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I'm awake at 5 a.m. because that's been keeping my brain that's been keeping my brain kind of occupied, I guess. So I decided to talk about it into a camera that was pointed at my ceiling for a while, and hopefully now I can go to sleep. Fucking 20,000, man.